The Quick Diz News is part of the Quick Diz Takes family of podcasts.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hello, I'm Michael Eisner.
Oh boy!
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Quick Diz News, episode 31. I'm here tonight, Sarah Castano. Hey, howdy, hey, joined by John Castano.
Hi.
And we're going to get right into it. Tonight, we're going to start off with our Quick Diz mentions, and we finally have some speculation to engage in. So there are rumors that possibly Typhoon Lagoon could be reopening this fall. So according to some social media posts and sources, Typhoon Lagoon is in its final stages of preparation for a fall reopening. So when the parks when they reopened after the COVID closures, both of the water parks remained closed for the remainder of that year. Blizzard Beach reopened in early March of this year, 2021, while there was no mention about Typhoon Lagoon potentially reopening, which is kind of hush hush, no one mentioned it, don't ask, don't tell. Disney pulled much of its merchandise and marketing material for Typhoon Lagoon did not help the fears that the water park would remain closed. However, during its closure, an extensive maintenance project took place at the wave pool along with a backstage area behind the park. A partial hillside collapse had taken place, and so that was finally being addressed during the closure. So while previously the park remained drained and unmaintained, new photos have shown that the pools are being refilled. Shops and restaurants appear to be preparing for a reopening, and we know that more cast members are being called back. So possibly indicating a reopening sometime soon. Disney has yet to talk about it, so as always, it is just speculation. Although we have more news. Magic Kingdom's Frontierland Shootin' Arcade closes indefinitely on November 27th. Magic Kingdom also randomly decided to extend their hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., but only on the following nights, October 16th, 18th, 23rd, and 30th. Similarly, Animal Kingdom followed suit, extending their hours from 8 to 7 to 8 to 8 on October 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and then again the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th of October. No rhyme or reason given, just that's what it is. Disney has also announced that from now through October 24th, that annual pass holders can enjoy 25% off select merchandise at shopdisney.com. We officially have Scrim covering the full front of Rock and Roller Coaster for a refurb. We've talked before in the past about the contract that Disney had between themselves and Aerosmith was either over or close to being over. We know they needed to rebrand the ride, or they would have to pay Universal for the rights to the music, as well as the band's appearance in the park. So the ride is still open and available to park guests. The comment section on some of the pictures on social media were pretty amazing. Someone had suggested we redo it to the Muppets and have Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem in there. Another person had commented that you get Powerline in from a Goofy movie, or even a nod to Coco. We get the guitar from Hector Rivera or Ernesto de la Cruz. We get a journey through the underside. Lots of good ideas, I felt like, but we have no news on what it will be rebranded as. And last up on our Quick Diz mentions, Run Disney has released some new information that changes the way they utilize their start groups in an effort to follow health and safety guidelines, as well as manage the flow of participants from the staging area to the start of the race itself. Earlier this week, Run Disney had mentioned that runners' start groups will now be printed on the upper corner of their race bibs, indicated with a lowercase s and their number. So S1, S2, S3, S4, etc. No big changes, but just enough that people are now panicked in certain groups. I don't know if you had a chance to see any of that, Johnny.
No, I didn't.
Surprise. We also have some quick Diz updates, very few this week. Disney Visa card holders are also able to make advanced bookings until October 16th to stay aboard the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience when you pay with your Disney Visa. General public can begin booking on October 28th. Good luck. The Tron Coaster ride vehicles were spotted on Wednesday, the 13th, as they were on their way to being delivered to the Magic Kingdom. An image of 4 ride vehicles wrapped in like saran wrap type protective plastic aboard a trailer bed was posted to social media, along with a link to a point of view ride through video of the completed attraction in Shanghai. And last up on our quick Diz updates, Olaf Presents officially has a debut date for Disney Plus. Streaming begins November 12th. In the image released as Josh Gad's temporary profile picture on Facebook, it shows Olaf with signs of Tangled, Moana, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Lion King, all that we can presume are going to be some of these amazing Disney classics that Olaf himself will retell us. And on to our 2 headlines. First up, we do have, we all know how much I love a good-natured tweet and Twitter thread, and Universal and Disney kind of go back and forth. But Universal's most recent tweet about Remy's Ratatouille ride kind of backfired a little bit when Twitter users came to Disney's defense, as much as we're upset about all the price hikes going on. So the tweet in question comes from the Universal Orlando account, their official account. And it says, them, screens and hot air, insert mouse emoji, us, ceiling on fire, all capital letters with skull and flame emojis. So Twitter user Escape Authority, or ESC Authority, replied, do you ever stop to ask yourselves if you are really in a position to criticize the overuse of screens in a theme park? And then a little smiling face with the sunglasses. Another Twitter user, Dreaming Star 213, wrote, how many of your attractions are screen-based again? Fast and Furious, Kong, 2 Potter rides, Spider-Man, Transformers, Simpsons, and a couple more. And finally, my favorite of the ones that I had read were at Great Diz Memes, had nothing to do with the name, no affiliation to the show. Said, everyone listen up, the Screens Park has something to say. I just thought it was witty. So it did backfire a little bit, but it did generate a lot of people coming to Disney's defense, which is nice to see when so many people are just very grumpy about a lot of things these days. And our like actual headline, Genie announces their launch and additional details. So here's what we now know. Disney plans on launching the new ride reservation system, which includes the Genie, the free version, the Genie Plus, the paid version, and the Lightning Lane in Walt Disney World on Tuesday, October 19th. You will not need to have first purchased the Genie Plus in order to purchase the Lightning Lane passes. So the tiering for the new paid system is Genie Plus Lightning Lane and the individual Lightning Lane. So pricing for the Genie Plus Lightning Lane is $15 per person per day. Pricing for the individual Lightning Lane selections range from $7 to $15. So that varies according to the date of visit, the park, and the attraction itself. This cost will not be included with the cost of the Genie Plus Lightning Lane selection. It is an additional purchase. So you can purchase the Genie Plus and then add on the Lightning Lane additionally if you would care to do that. Throughout the year, prices may be lower on some days and higher on others. They did give the example that on October 19th, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure would cost $9, while on the 23rd, it would cost $11. Meanwhile, on both of those dates, Expedition Everest would cost $7 and Rise of the Resistance would be $15. So they had kind of a variation, a range, but it looked like $7 to $15 could be the range you could expect to pay for that individual Lightning Lane pass. That option may be purchased at up to 2 different attractions each day, no more than 2. And if you purchase the passes, it is for the entire day. If you choose to park hop, it will carry over. That's for the Genie Plus Lightning Lane, sorry. So we did have a couple people take to social media. They posted the chart that Disney themselves had produced as far as the Lightning Lane attractions by each park. So the individual list or the individual Lightning Pass for Magic Kingdom, those 2 rides would be Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Space Mountain. Epcot would have Remy's Ratatouille and Frozen Ever After. Disney's Hollywood Studios has Rise of the Resistance and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Animal Kingdom has Avatar Flight of Passage and Expedition Everest. Most of their other very popular rides fall under the Genie Plus Lightning Lane, that $15 a day per person. I can post that very same image that Disney released. I can put that on our Facebook page for people who are looking for it. You go directly to them, but we kind of like it when you show us some social media love. Nothing today.
It's all pretty basic stuff. I mean, no nothing to be upset or anything about because you don't know how anything's going to work till it opens. So
I will say I did anticipate that the individual Lightning Lane prices would be more than what they are currently posted to be, between 7 and 15. Considering you don't have to first purchase Genie Plus in order to get that. So for $7, I could get on the ride that I super duper want to get onto. So like if I'm not super concerned about Genie Plus and I just want to do rides, I could just pay the $15 instead of the $15 for Genie and an additional fee. I don't know. We just kind of figured it'd be more expensive.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just gotta wait and see if the whole one ride per day type thing, you can't reuse them. You can only use the other thing once. We'll see if that helps standby lines, if it makes a big difference instead of people being able to constantly get a fast pass and then get off the ride. And if that same ride has a fast pass again, that clogged up the line, and we'll just, I don't know, maybe it won't be too bad for standby line people. But until next week, we won't know.
I mean, I know people are upset they have to pay, and they're upset that, well, I'm paying for this service, I should be able to ride it more than once. I do feel that I'm a little annoyed that we have to pay for these, or we could pay for these services. I am glad to see that they are limiting it, so it's not like an endless ride. Like you're paying, but it's still fair to the other people in the park who are not paying for this service, that they do still have a chance. It's not going to make their line super outrageously long because these people are kind of taking advantage of the system.
I think you'd be dumb if you're not a park hopping family or group, or even, depends on where you're park hopping. But if you're not park hopping, I see no point in paying $15 at Epcot or Animal Kingdom because they don't have enough rides to justify the $15 fee, especially if you're not park hopping. Maybe if you're at Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios and and you're going to park hop over to one of those two, then okay. But with the number of attractions, I think it's only worth it at Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios at this point. And especially since like Slinky or Tower of Terror or Rock and Roller Coaster isn't part of that Lightning Lane. So you can still get a decent value with those.
Right.
And, when Toy Story, you still get a decent, Magic Kingdom, you get the best value because there's the most to do. But if you're just going to Animal Kingdom or just going to Epcot, you're better off just, if you really want to ride Flight of Passage, then just pay the money. And everything else should be
fine.
Decent. Everest, I don't see the point in putting Everest in the extra because it's usually not that bad anyway to wait for, but whatever. What else would they do with the safari? There's nothing really else. So
I know people had talked about not like a soft open or a preview, but while the park is open, I don't know if it's a cast member thing, I don't know if it's a pass holder or what it is, but certain people have put on social media earlier this week about being able to use those lanes, and they said it's flowing pretty well. It seems a better option than standby, but not as damaging to the standby line as Fast Pass was. So that kind of gives me hope. But I also know that the crowds right now, even though it's the 50th, crowds for the lines are low. It's still just kind of that huge influx of merchandise at the moment. But the crowd lines, like if I go on my lunch and I check, the lines aren't terrible. It could be the time of year, even with the 50th going on, I'm not sure. But
what happens?
I do know it looks decent.
What happens when the app goes down? You had the issue, was it on the 50th, with the issue with mobile ordering, where people were ordering and like the restaurants didn't even know they were ordering or whatever it was, and it was hours later. So I don't know. Hopefully they're putting more like hotspots or improving their Wi-Fi. They got to do something if they're gonna if they want everything based off their app. So
If Disney's moving everything digitally, they're not investing in those kind of services, or they're getting increased revenues with all these upcharges on everything, then they need to be investing in, like you said, the Wi-Fi
we
hotspots.
could barely even in those days we couldn't barely even get Wi-Fi at the hotel.
Right.
We brought that Roku to hook up to the TV to watch our apps, and you couldn't even, the Wi-Fi wasn't even strong enough there to operate that. So
We have to use your phone as a hotspot. It's not a good time.
stupid. But
The only thing I didn't mention that I just kind of came to my brain right now is Disney has blocked out one night stays from now until sometime in December. I don't remember the date. I meant to include it in the notes and it just kind of came to me. I didn't add it, but people are all up in arms that they're not allowed to do a one night stay. I understand why Disney's doing it. However, I don't know if they could, I don't know. They'd get people to rent the room. I know that people are upset they can't.
well,
rent
just
one
it just
night.
interrupts vacations. People that are going for longer times. I said it's interrupting January. I couldn't get a.
Right.
I have to do a split.
Split
I mean,
stay.
it's not like it's a huge difference. It's Art of Animation and then Pop Century, so they just walk over. But it's just that you couldn't get that extra thing.
Yeah, that one more
It's-
day.
Well, they could easily solve the problem too. They could
Open up more hotels.
open up I mean, open up All Star Sports now. Open up. You want to do? You could just open up the value resorts, and you could have one night stays just there.
Right. Just make that your one night.
And
Resort.
but they want to fix whatever they're going to fix, or whatever in the court. I don't know. Whatever they're saying they're not opening it because of, which is probably not 100% true, but whatever. People have to deal with it, I guess.
If you can't find a room and you really have your heart
Plus, if you're
set
really
on
going for a
stay,
one-night stay,
property.
yes, I mean, if you're just
Uber
going
in.
for, if you're staying one night, just stay off. So it's not that big of a. You can stay. You'll probably stay a hell of a lot cheaper anyway. One night somewhere else,
Even with paying for an Uber or a Lyft into the
and
park,
you wouldn't have to pay for your park. You know,
pay for parking
pay parking and all that. Your
at the
parking fee
hotels
at the
or
resort.
the
It's just whatever.
park.
Just stay off property, or stay in one of the. Does this apply to the resorts at Disney Springs? Stay at one of those.
Those good neighbor hotels.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't explicitly say, but I don't imagine it did.
Probably not, because they're just good neighbors. They're not really.
They're not Disney brand company.
So it apply to the Swan and Dolphin. You could stay there too.
Listen, all I know is we went and checked out the Margaritaville Resort while we were down on this last trip, maybe 10 to 15 minutes from the springs. It was gorgeous. It was really, really, really gorgeous. It was comparable.
You could
to what we
stay
were
at
paying
one of the value resorts at Universal for less than $100 a night. So just do that.
Is what it is.
Disney's gonna, who knows, but the way stuff's going, might stay off property the whole trip next time, because you can, like I said, you could stay at those value resorts at Universal that are bigger than the value resorts on Disney property, and they're cheaper, a lot cheaper. So
And we usually rent a car when we're down there anyway. It
Yeah.
doesn't really impact us.
so
And as annual pass holders, we can't make a package out of room ticket and etc. Doesn't really behoove us if it's financially doable the other way.
mhm.
In any case, that's all we had for this week. A little bit short. We went off topic a little bit at the end. I didn't throw it in where it should have been, but that is all we have for this week. Like, share, subscribe, comment, interact with us. We love hearing from you guys. A like or a little comment makes our whole day. We will hopefully be returning live on Sunday. Hopefully Tim's not feeling well. People in his household are sick. So hopefully everybody will be feeling a little bit better. We can able to go live with our regular show this past Sunday. Unfortunately, we had to miss it this week due to sickness. So we're hoping to get back on track. But until then, we will see you next week. Take it easy.